What's up guys, to the behind scenes of A Horrorble Dream. Right now we're gonna get into the really cool aspects. The last week we only talked about shot listing and the idea, which is really not that much you can get into. It's basically just a tutorial and just talking on and on about a very little talk about subject. So right now we're gonna talk about something that is very big, widely known in Hollywood, and there's a lot of things to talk about. So let's begin. This is sound design, so let's begin. Now our main aspect for sound design in this film was basically to get rid of the idea of using music to fill your whole film. We really wanted to have a full sound sort of a thing, I guess you could say, and that is because if you hear that share and all that, it really makes you feel like you're more in the film, which is very big for sound design, which was our main aspect as to why we did it. If we wanted it to feel very dreamy, we could have left out the sound effect, but we didn't want people to know it's a dream all the time. So that was very crucial for sound design. Now, for all you gearheads out there, I know the first question is going to be, what did you use to record it? We used two microphones. We used the Rode SmartLav Plus from Rode, very great mic, although it's not meant for that. It's meant for, you know, talking like this, but we ended up putting it on an arrow. Yes, an arrow that you shoot, and we clipped it to the little, you know, the little things at the back, I guess you could say, and that helped us to get really close. And we used the iPad to record it with, because our iPhone wasn't working at the time. And we also used the, what's the name, the Blue Snowball mic. I had a little blank over there. We used the Blue Snowball mic, but we only used the Blue Snowball mic for two things, and that was the go to sleep sound effect. Try to reenact that as good as I could there. I don't think it's gonna sound very good though, which we added a lot of reverb to. We'll get to that later. So that's what we use that for, and the breathing sound effect. The rest was all done with the SmartLav Plus. Now, quick disclaimer, we did record all of these sounds ourselves. We didn't download any of them online. Just a quick disclaimer, so no copyright infringement or anything. Now the sort of thing for the gearheads, although this is software, is that we used Adobe Audition, which in my opinion, it was very big for me to use this now. I did also use Logic Pro 10 for the music, which we'll get to music later on. But the reason why I chose Audition was because it really gives you more flexibility with your EQ and your reverbs and all those sort of things, which it just felt way better. Not to mention Dynamic Link inside of Premiere Pro made it very quick to just send our timeline right over there and just edit the sequence right in Adobe. Click one button, it sends right back to Premiere Pro, which is very easy to do. We'll give a tutorial on FilmShift, link down below for that channel, so go and check that out, and we'll have a tutorial up there very soon. And that's basically how we, you know, did all the effects and all that. We did all the effects and all the mixing and all the putting in, you know, place the clips inside of an Audition. What's up guys, so a little insert in the behind the scenes. This is more about audio, because there's a lot of audio work that went into this film, because there's no specific dialogue, but there's certain things like go to sleep, sort of a sound that you hear, and there's a lot of sound effects and all that. So I just want to quickly focus on one of them, which is sort of a voiceover and sound effect put together. It is the voice when you hear that go to sleep when he's sleeping. Now I'm not talking about the one where his headphones are on, that's a completely different part. But I'm gonna quickly show you guys how we got to the normal, the one where he's sleeping and then you just hear that sound. And I just wanna show you guys how we got to that. Now let me just quickly, first of all, we were using these Razer Kraken headphones. Now, they are good headphones, but the problem is that if you look at the frequency response chart, they really up their, sort of their bass or their low frequencies, which editing audio, you really want it to just stay as, you know, far down, as straight in the middle as possible. You don't want it to have a lot of bass and all that. So that was sort of a problem. So we did need to care for what we did and just keep in mind that, so that it would sound good on every speaker. We are planning on maybe getting Audio Technica someday soon, but not yet. So we can't focus on something we don't have yet. But I'm just gonna quickly unplug the speakers, the headphones, so that you guys can hear. Now let me just go in here now. Now as you can see right over here, let me just put it like this, up the brightness like crazy. That did not work a lot, but as you can see, there is our Adobe Audition. Now as you can see, I'm actually reflecting in the screen. How great. But now I'm just gonna quickly show you the effects here. Now as you can see, this is kind of a problem, but at the top we have a full reverb. Now let me show you what is in here. Okay, now on here is our voice double. Now this is actually the primary part of how we got the sound. It sort of doubles the voice and gives it a echoey feel and a very big reverb. I was trying to find something that has the most reverb, but nothing really ended up being well. And over here, we have our vocal reverb large. Now this is just to add a little bit extra of that reverb feel to it, because I felt like it still felt a little single toned. And we really wanted it just to fill in all the gaps. Like we didn't want it to be like, just quickly example, like dot, dot. We wanted it to be dot, dot, like, you know, it sort of fades into the next word. That's what we really wanted. And of course over here we just got a normal DS, just because when we said the sleep, it really had a big S in it, so it didn't sound good. But I'm just gonna quickly show you the after. I don't know if you guys could actually hear that, so let me just quickly, real quick, put this right over there, and of course if we can't, then we'll just put it normal, and this is without any of the effects. Now, of course, this doesn't pick up well, so of course it will sound different in the film and everywhere else, but yeah. And I'm sorry if the audio went a little bit worse now, because it's 1.5 feet away from me, the mic, so. As you can hear, it sounds very single and sounds a lot like a normal voice. Let me just put this back over here onto my hoodie. And there we go. But that is basically how we got to that effect. Let me just put the camera back over here. So that is how we got to that effect. Hope you guys enjoyed, and you can check out all the other ones. Alright, now onto the other voiceover little part, sound effect dash voiceover, as I said in the last one. But today, or right now at least, it is the voiceover for when the guy has these headphones on. Now, this posed a challenge, because it's like having music playing in a car and then the camera's outside the car, and it needs to give that feel like you can hear the car busy pumping out music, but it's not playing normal music, because what happens is when you play music in a car and then you're outside the car, it usually cuts off the high frequencies and a little bit of the mids. So what happens is this has this really bassy, like boom, boom, boom sort of a feel. Can't reenact it with my mouth, but that's what I'm trying to say. So that posed a challenge, and not to mention because we wanted it to really have a single feeling sort of a sound to this, like that really go to sleep, but like really, you know, raspy sort of a voice. Now, if you only have bass, you can't really make that. So it was really hard to get the, you know, sweet spot for this sort of an audio, but we actually did end up doing it. Now, we did basically the same as we did for the last clip. Now let me just quickly change the camera to the screen as I did last time. Now, as you guys know, you're not going to be able to see too much as the last time, but over here we just have full reverb in our rack for number 1, and this is just set to the normal vocal double. That's just the normal in-program preset, so just select that. Now over here, as you can see, that is double, not double, that's studio reverb, and we set it to vocal reverb large just to give it more of a, you know, long-lasting feel. And over here we have an FFT filter. Now this is where all the magic really happens. Now as you can see, we set it to the preset The Club Downstairs. Now what this does is it gives more of a bass. Over here the low frequencies get more of a push, and then it cuts off the mids and the highs over here. Now it usually cuts it all the way down there, but then you can't hear any of the vocals, so we had to push it up just a little bit. As you can see, it's right now, this point over here is lying at the -24 dB range, and at the bottom it will be around about -30 dB range. Now I'm sorry if it's not properly in focus, but that's basically how it is. So, bam. And if you guys want to quickly hear how it sounds, I'll quickly put the lav mic over there, and I'll just want to quickly I'll show you also something real quick at the end. Now we'll just put it over there roundabout. As you can see, it's just chilling right there by the speaker. And let's just put it a little bit closer like that. And this is with it. It's very hard to hear, I know. I'll put it very close just so you can hear that again. And we'll probably just hide the audio, that's how soft it is. Okay, so that's how it sounds normally, and now if we take all these effects here off, go to sleep. As you can hear, it's way louder, but that's what the FFT filter does. It really lowered the volume, and it wasn't meant to be too loud in the film. What meant to happen in the film was, let me just put this mic over here. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it, I guess, like this. But yeah, so that's basically what it meant to do, is just give it a really soft tone but give it that freaky feel. Like the headphones on, I mean, it's noise cancelling headphones, so you're not really gonna hear it, but it needs to be sort of in the head as well. So we want to give that feel like, you know, you can't hear it because of the headphones, but it's sort of in his head. That's also why there needs to be that. So that's basically how we did that. And yeah, and I'll quickly show you guys how it looks if we apply the audio. Let's just put it over there. And that is our waveform with the normal, the original. Now we're just gonna click apply, and that is it now. It gave, I didn't actually notice much of a difference, but it looks like it just dropped a little bit here to the different frequencies. So that's basically been it though. Now, most of the sound effects that we recorded were good off the microphone. Now, I know that sounds bad, never do that, but we were in a real rush with the sound design, so most of the clips never even had any sound design. Of course, as you saw with those two clips, the two were, of course, the go to sleep sound effects, and also a little bit of breathing. We didn't show that though. That was just a little bit of reverb that we added just to make it feel a little bit more filled. The rest of it was really not that much. We did add for those little footsteps, which sounded really bad. We tried to add some bass and try and make it a little bit more clear. We couldn't do that though. So yeah, and we also try to bring up the EQ in the 2000s just a little bit for the share, just so that we can make it sound a little bit more of a, you know, crunchy sound when we got up. Now here's a big part of this film that we never did in any other film before, and that was we mixed it in stereo surround sound 5.1, which is what they used a few years ago in the cinema. Now they are at their Dolby Digital Atmos, which we cannot get our hands onto because it costs a lot of money to do that. But you also get 7.1, but we couldn't do that, so we mixed it in 5.1 because that's the most, you know, reliable source, and not many people have 7.1 studio speakers anyway. So we got our 5.1 setup, and we did that inside of Adobe Audition, and we did it inside of Logic Pro 10 for our music. So it was the full 5.1 surround sound film. Now you may wonder, why did we give a surround sound feel to this film? Because I mean, for, you know, a little indie film like this, there's really no need for it. But we did it as a form of giving a perspective to the film. Now, as you guys may have heard, if you have a 5.1 setup, then try this. If it's speakers mainly. Headphones don't work as well. We do have these headphones over here. Let me just quickly fetch them. These ones over here. We have Razer Kraken 7.1. Now these are 7.1 headphones. Oh, there we go. We have 7.1 headphones. We don't have speaker sets. But if you do have a speaker set, I just urge you to try and use it with this film. And especially for the part where it says go to sleep. When you hear it over here, it makes it sound as if it's coming from that door. Then when you hear it from here, we really try, you know, of course, if you mix it in normal stereo, it'll go from right and to left. Now with, you know, 5.1, 7.1, you can really mix it around inside of Audition. We'll have a tutorial about that on our Flopship channel. Go check that out over there. So we'll also have a little video talking about what is 5.1, which is basically just 5 speakers connected to one source. So that has basically been the overview for sound design, 5.1 mixing to give an environmental feel to it and perspective. Use Adobe Audition, use SmartLav Plus and Blue Snowball mic, yes. And we all mix inside of Adobe Audition, and that was basically all of it for sound design. Of course, there wasn't too much to talk about as there was really not that much sound design. It's a very short film. But if you guys did like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And until the next behind the scenes video, we'll see you guys then.